Mom's Basement MMA. I am talking to the best MMA gym on the West Coast that you don't know about. I have with me today MMA lightweight Cesar Cubby Gonzalez. I have flyweight Terrance Wrong Turn Saeteurn. And then in his own sweet time, Captain Fantastic Blake Perry will be here very, very soon. But first and foremost, gents, thank you for being on my show. And I have to say, Nobody MMA. It's one of my favorite gyms in the entire country. I love what you guys are all about. I love what the team is all about and like the motto that you guys have and just your mindset and the general philosophy. I think it's really, really interesting, really, really cool. And you guys are like the epitome of like all the things I love so much about MMA. And what I love about MMA is anybody can win. It doesn't matter how many followers you have on Instagram. It doesn't matter if you got a blue check mark next to your name or not. This is a game where we don't know shit until the fights actually happen. And as time has evolved and you guys have all leveled up and Nobody MMA, what was once this like obscure gym in the Bay Area that nobody knew about, all of a sudden you guys are getting out there. You guys are on Cage Warriors. You guys are in 559, Bellator. It's A1 Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. It's been really, really interesting to see. And Cesar, I wanted to start with you. Can you talk a little bit, since you've been with Nobody MMA, can you talk a little bit about how the team is leveled up and just how cool it is to see from your end?
Man, dude, hey, everyone is doing an amazing job. And like I said, I don't know if I told you, but I was telling my girl this. I'm like, man, me and Sonny, we used to like he used to just pat me out right in front of his house, would make me run hills like literally right outside his house in Vallejo, to now having like at least 30 people on the mat every day. It's like it's amazing, man. And then seeing some little killers like Terrence and then Blake, and then some upcomers like Houston and Amini and Lino. It's just amazing to see from like, here we go, I am trying this shit out, to now it's like, damn, all these guys are fucking leveling up. And like I said earlier, if I don't, like, these guys are already kicking my ass left and right. So I have to come up with some new shit just to hang with these fools.
And
But it's fucking amazing.
can you talk, Caesar, a little bit about Coach Sonny in particular? Um, he is a very knowledgeable guy. This guy's probably forgot more about MMA than I will ever know. And I'm just curious, like, can you talk about the impact that he has had on your career up to date?
Oh man, with him, everything that I do is just because of him. Because of him, I'm learning how to, you know, sponsorship, management, fights, coaching, doing homework. So I've messed up a while back ago, what's it called? Which I tell all the youngsters now. I'm like my teammates. I'm like, hey man, listen to your coaches. Listen to your coaches. Those fools know what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
And now like I have to go, like I have to sit back and listen to myself. Like, Caesars, start listening to your coaches, you fucking idiot.
So, in typical Air Force fashion, Blake Perry has decided to grace us with his presence. 15 minutes late. So, great to see Blake. Great to see you. Of course, I see that you shaved your head for this, so that's always nice.
Dude, I have to, bro. I can't let you show me up. Come on now.
Well, I wanted to start off by first acknowledging Blake, like where to begin with you. You have the most famous nose in MMA history now, and you were fighting, in fields and in relative obscurity. Your nose gets smashed, and then all of a sudden, you're the bee's knees, and like MMA junkies talking about you. The UFC's putting a reel out on you, and I got to know, like, when are you going to get that broken nose paycheck, my man?
That's a good question. I've been waiting and waiting, and I don't know if it got caught up at the post office or what, but I've made zero money from that. But no T-shirt deals, nothing. I was hoping there'd be some little kids with my busted ass face on a shirt or something. But
I would certainly
man,
hope so.
Yeah. But no, man, things have been good. It's good to see everybody. Yeah, happy to be here.
I wanted to ask you, Cesar. You were in Blake's corner when all of this was going down. I puked all over the place. I was mortified. I felt freaking disgusting. I watching his nose explode on television. I wanted to barf. You look like it's nothing. Like you have like it's not bothering you. I'm like texting Terrence like OMG, OMG, OMG. It's so fucking bad. Dude, it's so fucking gross. It's so disgusting. And you looked at Blake like, yeah, he's probably fine. So I wanted to ask, like, secretly, were you like panicking when you saw Blake's nose look the way it did at the end of the first round there?
Hell no, I was not.
Thank you,
No.
guys. I appreciate it.
Blake ugly as hell anyway, so it don't even matter.
Let's be honest. Come on now. They're like, oh,
Blake, let me see the bird, Blake. Show the owl, Blake, for the people.
owl, some
Show the
titties,
owl.
bro.
Look
There
at
you
that.
go.
Oh, what's up?
Hey yo.
What's up?
Wow.
Hey, yo. Gotta have the shirt off, dude. Get some sun out here, bro.
You absolutely have to. So Cesar, what did you think about his nose when you saw it? Because you were in the corner, you were like 2 feet away from him. What did you think?
Man, I wasn't even worried about the nose because I saw his Blake being the monster that he is. He's like, all right, second round, what are we gonna do? So when Sonny was talking to him, I see the crooked nose. I'm like, that shit ain't nothing. Blake is ready to go. Like it's nothing to him. That's one thing that about Blake that I really admire and really love is like he's always in there for the fight. So when I saw his nose all busted up, I'm like, man, that actually makes you look cuter, bro.
Well, and I thought it was one of those things, like having looked at it, it was unfortunate that fight ended the way that it did because despite the rally at the end from your opponent, I thought that was a clear 10-9 for you. I thought that you were controlling the fight, and I give all the credit in the world to your opponent. He's a really tough guy, and he really took a lot of punishment. And I have to give him credit for that because I felt like a lot of other guys would have quit, and he didn't. I think that says a lot about him. And then it also says a lot about you because I know that you didn't want to quit. I know that you were like begging the doctor to go back out there, and I know how bummed you were for the fight to end the way that it did. So can you tell us a little bit, like, when will you be cleared to go back to training as you typically do?
So training, I've already been cleared. I'm back to sparring hard, and I'm actually out. I'm in Hawaii right now. For that reason, for sparring a lot for a camp. Not my own, but just a partner. So I'm cleared that way. You know, back full contact and everything like usual. In terms of being cleared to fight, I know I was on a 6-month suspension, at least in California. I had to like sign. But I mean, that was in July, and that's already been what 2.5, 3. So even if I was to get a fight scheduled, it probably would be 2 to 3 months from now anyway. So long story short, I'm cleared pretty soon. It's going by quick, and just use it as an opportunity to get better, you know, because I kind of went like back-to-back fights pretty quick. So it's kind of a nice opportunity to, just get better in some places so that my face doesn't get as fucked up my next fight, you know? But nah, man, things are good, dude. No complaints, and got to find the positives, I guess, you know? Cesar is like the positive king over there, man. You know, so yeah, it was a negative, obviously, you know, getting my nose broke and stuff and taking the L or whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, whether it was a good reason or not, I have way more eyeballs on my fights now than, to be honest, if I would have just won, I guarantee more people are going to know, you know, who I am and tune into my next fight now, even though I didn't win. But so you got to find the positives, you know, so I'll take it. It is what it is. And I'm just excited to move on, roll on to the next one, and put someone to sleep, man.
We need to come up with a nickname for you, though. Like, we have to capitalize on that. And I actually have some that I wrote down.
Great.
2 or 3 that are, well, I wrote down 3 that are silly, but then I wrote down 3 that I think are actually badass.
Okay.
So I got to tell you, but before I even get into that, I have to ask these other 2, like Terrence, Cubby, where have you guys been? Like, you guys should have given him a nickname by now. Like that's on
I've
you
been trying
guys,
to
right?
get that full nickname.
Well,
Been trying to get that full nickname.
like what?
Great
Okay.
value, Sean. Great value, Sean O'Malley. Nature, Slender Man, School Shooter, Uncle. Bro, I've been
Uncle.
giving you some good ass nicknames, bro. And you don't
Oh,
never
you're right.
fuck with none of them.
Great
I'll
value,
take
Sean
Uncle.
O'Malley.
Uncle's a cool one. I'll be Uncle Blake. That's a cool one.
I
Uncle
like
Blake is
I
hard.
like
That
great,
shit goes hard.
I like great
Bro,
value, Sean O'Malley.
Great, bro. That one cut deep, dude. Someone commented that, and I was like, God damn. But shit, I like Uncle, dude. I look like a. It's funny. I forget. I don't know if it's Devo or T who said it. Like, there's a fight after a picture after my kickboxing fight. I was like all busted up and shit. I look like someone's drunk ass uncle, like at the barbecue. So that was funny. But sorry.
Man.
Anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Well, I have a suggestion. I do. Not today.
Not today. All right.
Yeah, I like
Today,
it. I like the
That's
simplicity of it. I like
All
my
right.
I like my time too.
My time. I like that. That's dope. My
And-
time.
Right, yeah.
Those are both
and-
cool.
Yeah, and I also wrote down "Can't Stop Me."
I like that one too. These
So
are
those
dope.
are those
All
are
right.
all those are my 3 suggestions, and then I also put
Okay.
down Iron Nose. So there you go.
I like
There are 4 solid ones for you to
Bro,
really
those are
kind of
all
think about.
those are all good. All right.
I'm just saying,
I'll
not
remember
today
all
is
those.
pretty fucking hard though. I have to say.
It is.
Would it be
is.
like
I like
not today, Blake Perry, or Blake not today, Perry?
Oh, so if we say not today, Blake Perry, that sounds too much like what he heard in high school all the time. So we'd have to like break that up a little bit to make it sound hard,
Ew, get away from me, Blake Perry.
Yeah. So I think you'd have to. I think we'd have to throw it in the middle. So
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, man. Not today. That's pretty dope.
Not-
All of them, man. Not today. Would say Can't Stop Me,
and
Slender Man, Uncle. I'll take all of them, bro.
yeah, great value, Sean O'Malley, in my time.
I do like
All right.
I do like shit, what was it? Nature Boy though. Nature Boy Blake Perry. I feel like that shit is hard.
I forgot
feel like
about
that's
that
hard
one.
as fuck. Yeah.
I forgot about that one too. I'll get a nickname, man. I'll run with one of them. I promise.
So Blake, I wanted to ask you really quickly. We've talked in the past, like for people that don't know, and you've spoken about it in other interviews you've been in. We know that you're in the Air Force. We know that you juggle a military career and an MMA career simultaneously, and those are like 2 full-time jobs that you're doing at the same time. And I know how hard that is, having been in myself. And when you think about just everything that you have up on the horizon, like have you made a decision? Like, are you going to end up leaving the military? Are you going to stay in? Like, how like as you move forward in your career, like what do you like what's next for you, like outside of the cage? Because that's probably more important than like inside for a lot of
Sure.
reasons.
So I mean, the end goal has always been fighting full time. When I get to the point that I can make this my sole source of income and it's all I do, I mean, that's been the dream. If that's not your goal, it's kind of weird to be a pro fighter. You know what I mean? That's kind of everyone's goal. And in terms of juggling the military career and the fighting career, I think I get too much props for that, to be honest, because it's just a normal 9. Like my job specifically is a normal 9 to 5. So like Cesar works just as much as I do, if not more hours during the week, and he juggles it. And 90% of pro fighters, have a full-time job, whether it's coaching at the gym or whatever, factory job, whatever full-time job, unless you're like in the top tier of the top organizations making the big bucks, we're all working to get there. So like I said, I get a lot of props for just because it's military, but my job specifically it's a 9 to 5, man. Like I'm able to train every single day, and it allows me to take opportunities when I need to for fighting. Like I said, I'm about to be in Hawaii for like 20 something days, just specifically for fighting, and I'm still in the Air Force. They were cool with it. I had leave saved up, so like I said, I get too much credit because it's honestly just a normal 9 to 5 job that most fighters juggle every day.
Yeah, so I think it's like one of those things where it's like, at least from my own experience in the military, it was a lot more stable than like what people thought it was, from the outside looking in. But it's also one of those things where if things change, the military is very quick to be like, "Oh, guess what? Like you're pulling landscaping duty." And you're just
Yeah,
like, and you're like, "Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
I'm glad that we could talk about that. That's freaking fantastic." So
yeah,
so I think one of the things that civilian life is really good for is you have even more of a baseline of predictability, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that actually, and I know there's
yeah.
something
No,
called the UCMJ that like tells you have to do a bunch of shit.
unfortunately, right? But I guess it's what we all agreed to. So it's like, put it this way, definitely the toughest part of my day, hands down, is the gym every day. Like my job, it's just long and boring sometimes. It's not necessarily hard. It's just long days.
Absolutely,
Caesar about to start shadow
I
boxing.
was about
I
to
don't know.
say, what? Oh shit, Caesar about to shadow
yeah.
box.
Well,
I was pumped, dude. I was like, yo, let's see it, Caesar.
well, let's hurry up and engage Cesar then real quick. Cesar, I wanted to talk to you about your last fight. I watched this fight. It was, for those who aren't familiar with it, it was against James Lynch. Before we started recording, I told you that I thought that I wasn't a fan of the stoppage for the fight. I thought that you took a knee to the face. Yes, you were cut. I've seen way worse cuts than that in my life. And typically, when you see something like that happen, usually the referee will let you play that out for at least the round and then let the cut man do his work before a decision like that's made. I could tell like you were shocked that the decision was what it was. But I'm bringing all this stuff up because when I think of you, I you really talk a lot about like the mental aspect of fighting and like why you need to have like your mentals locked away and why that's probably more important than anything else that you could do. And when you like put that fight past you in the rearview mirror and like you look ahead, like what is like the silver lining? Like what is like the lesson learned from that fight against Lynch? Because I know that we didn't see the best of you in there. And I know that there are other forces going against you that you didn't have any control over. So like how did you just kind of like regroup and just kind of like get that out of your mind and like move forward into the next?
Bro, I don't even feel like I lost. Like I was in there for the minute. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know I was bleeding, man. Like that's how bad it was. It was like the blood was going around my eye. So
Right.
when the referee stopped it, I'm like, "What are you doing for?" I had just gotten my bounce. I had just like, "Oh shit, I'm about to fuck you up, bro." And
Mm-hmm.
then the ref stopped it. I'm like, "Fool, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
He's like, "You're bleeding." I'm like, "What the?" And as soon as he stopped it, I already knew that it was over. I'm like, "Damn, fool." So now, like that's the answer. Like I don't even feel like I lost. Like I went out there to San Diego, got a free trip,
Mm-hmm.
great. But now it's like, all right, Caesar, fucking June 10th is done. June 11th is here. Now we're in October, I think 12 or 13. So we just gotta move past it. It's like your life. If your life ends right there in June 10th, you're always gonna be reflecting on it. Like life goes on, whether you won or lost or got fucking fucked and shit.
Yeah, and I thought that's exactly what happened. Like again, I've never seen a fight get stopped in that manner. Well, let me rephrase this. I have never seen a professional fight get stopped like that before, ever. Like if it were an amateur fight, I could maybe see it a little bit, but we're talking about a pro fight, and that really kind of threw me
Especially
off
with
base.
Caesar, man. Especially Caesar. Like literally the fight before, he snapped his leg and won. like,
I know.
like that's crazy. Yeah.
And that was like way worse. Obviously, like you knew that leg was broken. Like by watching that fight, the Escoto fight, you watch that, you know he
Yeah.
broke his leg, and the referee was just kind of like, "Yeah, let him fight."
Yeah,
And
see, like
Caesar's still throwing leg kicks with it and shit.
the whole freaking Max Holloway Volk fight, the last time they fought, Max had the exact same cut where Caesar had his cut.
Mm.
Literally in the exact same spot for like 3 rounds, 2 rounds. they let the fight go all the way to a decision. It's like, you know, this is how we're making our money. You know, you gotta let the fighters fight, man. You gotta let them fucking fight.
And the other thing though is like not only that, but and I talk about this often. It's like fighters fight, but after the fight's done and over with, you don't know when you're fighting again. It could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, it could be a year. You don't know that.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what makes it shitty because to have a fight stop like that, and it's like, okay, well, now you're gonna basically take a fight away from me, and now I'm gonna be on the sideline for I don't know how long, and that's the worst part about it, I think.
Yeah, at least give me the opportunity to come whoop this kid real quick. Like man, if I went all 3 rounds and he whooped me all 3 rounds, and all right, I lost.
Right.
But if I go 1 minute and then the ref stops it, it's like, bro, really? Come on, man.
Well, I will say this, and I don't know anything about Lynch. Maybe I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't know anything about him. Most fighters are very, very nice, but I did see him out there not that long ago, and it didn't go well for him. I hope he's okay. But do you guys know what fight I'm talking about? Like he got smoked.
Yeah,
hard.
the one recently, right?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, he got
no,
smoked.
I've seen it.
But I felt it was like one of those things where it's like that should have been your moment, though. You know?
Right.
Yeah, that would have
Right.
been
That
my
should have been
fight right
Cesar.
there.
That should have been Cesar for real.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cesar, like, what's next for you, man? Like, when do you want to get back out, and do you have like a something in mind?
Bro, so right now we got Stockton next month for jiu-jitsu, and then after that I'm looking for another jits tournament, you know, just trying to stay active. Because I just signed up for IBJJF in Europe. So I'm going to France January 23rd.
What?
What? Damn, why didn't you tell nobody, Cesar?
Dang.
Oh, I told you guys. You guys just, you know.
You dirty, dude. You ain't tell nobody. I would have remembered.
Like that. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up all the screenshots.
Bro,
all right, show me tonight.
Caesar's gonna come back with a French accent.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like there aren't like the goatee will be gone. It'll just be the stash all curled up and shit. Terrence, I want to ask you a little bit. You know, when we think about just how you guys have like leveled up and you guys are fighting on like these bigger and bigger stages. You know, obviously with Cesar and Cage Warriors, Blake had a Bellator bout not that long ago. You made your A1, Uriah Faber A1 combat debut, and then you followed that up with another really impressive outing. And we hit on this a little bit, but like, can you talk to me a little bit? Like when you have teammates like Cubby, when you have teammates like Blake, like what does that do to your confidence? Like when you're getting ready to like go into the cage against some of these other flyweights, because that is a division where there used to be like the saying like, oh, flyweight's wide open. It's wide open. It's wide open. Right. But I don't know if that's really true anymore because like you look at the UFC and like you start seeing some of these guys that are in that flyweight division, they're killers. All 15 of them that are ranked, they're absolutely killers. And they're adding more and more and more guys. It's becoming one of the more exciting divisions. So, I think it just kind of goes to show that like getting to the show in the 125 weight class, I still think it's quite a journey.
I mean, it definitely gives me a lot of confidence because obviously, you know, like they're both fucking killers. You know, there's some salves. And they're obviously a lot bigger than I am, and I work with them a lot, if not every single time we practice. So I know that if I can give them some trouble, if I can, you know, give them really good work, or I'm still able to find success in what I do good against them, then it gives me all the confidence in the world, you know. And then plus like Cesar, Blake, and then like even Houston, our amateur 125er, who's also coming up. These guys, they stay busy, they stay competing, they're always getting ready for something. So it's like, you know, that's the energy that we bring to each other, you know, like, all right, you're about to go. Yep, I'll run one right after you. Yep, tag me in. Yep, all right, tag, you're in. Yep, and then or like we'll will hear about a tournament, like a jiu-jitsu tournament, like that November tournament that Cesar was talking about, we're about to be squatted out there. Me, Cesar, Blake, Lino, Amini, all of us. So pretty much the whole fight team is about to be up at that tournament. So I know that we're going to be just feeding off of each other's energy. And yeah, man, it gives me all the confidence in the world. 25 flyweights. It is. I feel like they're finally starting to get some respect from not just the MMA community, but just the not so diehard fans, like the casual fans. I feel like they're starting to finally give us a little bit more respect, and it's good, like good, because I'm gonna keep fucking doing what I'm doing anyways. And if you like it, that's great. If not, I'm still gonna keep fucking doing this. So, you know.
That makes sense because going with Terrence hurts my confidence. So it makes sense to rebuild his.
Well, I saw him do that Liu Kang kick on you not that long ago. That was pretty dope.
That was cool.
We were hella supposed to be fucking like we were hella supposed to be doing something else, and we just coach told us to go do something else, and we just went over there and grabbed a pad and started fucking around.
Typical, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, we're leaving one major storyline untouched, and I'm hoping that Blake or Cubby, I hope one of you guys were there for it. But like when you whipped up on that bully's ass, man, like that's
need
like
a waiver.
Right? That's like a story, right? That's a story, and like I know that it got picked up a little bit. I saw stuff getting posted on Instagram about it. I think Blake was the one that actually told me about it, and then I looked at it, and I probably watched I watched you beat that guy's ass probably like 5 or 10 different times, and I was laughing my ass off the entire time because the audacity of anybody. Like, I don't care how big you are. I don't care if you're even going in there against an amateur. Like, you're talking about going in there into a mixed martial arts gym against somebody that like does this competitively. I don't care how tough you think you are. If you're a random guy like me, it's not going to go out. It's not going to work out well for you. I was in street fights and I fought a couple guys in high school. That don't mean anything. So Cubby, Blake, like, were you guys there for like this brawl in the gym? Like, what? Tell me, like, how you saw it from your perspective.
It's kind of a long story, dude. But this dude was like, I seen him in the parking lot, like originally outside, and as I was walking in, he's like, "Hey," he like stopped me in the parking lot. He's like, "Hey, dude, do you fight?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, right here at Train for Life Center, like right in this parking lot, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I see you coming in like every day, man." He's like, "I know, and you must be a fighter because I see you carrying the bag and going in there." And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking, oh, he must like work at like a nearby bit, I mean, something in that, plaza. And he's like, yeah, man, I'll have to come watch you train sometime. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm thinking like, oh, he's just some random guy saying it. And I'm like, yeah, of course, man, whatever. He's like, you got Instagram? And I'm like, yeah. So, he like followed me, whatever. And I was like, oh, this dude seems really cool. It's just him and his girlfriend. I walk in, bro, and we're doing jits, like jiu-jitsu, and we're just kind of like training, rolling, whatever. And then out of nowhere, on like the other corner of the gym, I hear like, Blake Perry, that's my fucking dog. Yeah, Blake. And I was like, bro, what is happening, dude? And who was that? I was with, I think I was rolling with Sonny, or he was like right there. And he's like, you work with that guy or something? I'm like, bro, I swear to God, I just met him in the park. Like, I do not know this guy. And he was like yelling on the mat, and his like ratchet ass girlfriend was like, yeah. And then he's getting bag work, like right there, just, doing this thing, like getting bag work, getting working. And then obviously Terrence can tell you more about that because I just seen him talking shit. And then I'm like, what is happening? And then Sonny's like, bro, is this your boy? And I'm like, no. And then he's like, Blake Perry, that's my boy. I'm like, no, I did not claim him, dude. I did not know this guy. And then next thing I know, he's just, talking all wild and taking his shirt off. And, this dude's like legit, like my height and probably like 240. Like, this is a big man. Yeah. And then next thing I know, him and Terrence are getting in the ring, and this dude's talking all this shit. And Terrence is just, keeping real calm and just pieces this fool up in front of everybody. And then to the point that, like, I mean, like I said, you've seen the video. I don't need to explain the video, but like, he's like, time out or whatever, whatever. And then the whole gym just hops on him like, no, get the fuck back in there. But yeah, dude, long story short, it was hands down the best day I've had in the gym in a long time.
I could only imagine, but like Terrence, like you're like the most likable, chill guy ever, and
That's what I'm saying.
I find
That's
it
what I'm saying.
I find it like really difficult that like you would just start talk trash to some guy coming in the street. So it had to have been the other way around. Like, what did you do to this man?
Oh, sorry, real fast. I do got to get out of here, boys. It's my turn in the ice bath.
Oh, you have fun with that.
Yes. I just want to say real quick. I didn't want to cut Terrence off. Real quick, I'll shout out the homies real fast while I'm here. With Bruno Pucci in the ice bath, and then Richie the Savage Lewis over here. But all right, thank you for having me on as always. It's good talking to you guys.
All right, you have fun in your dumpster ice bath.
Yes, will do. All right, love you guys.
See you, Blake. Love you too, dog.
Okay, so now that the men are here, talk to me about like what happened, like what made this guy like so fired up? Like, was he on drugs or something? I think that's a legit question. I'm not trying to like be an asshole here. Like, is that a possibility?
I'm sure he was, because like, so it's a long story. Well, not a long story. Well, I'll try to sum it up as much as I can.
Sure.
So I teach the adult boxing class Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And it was the last week of the month, and the last week of the month is always spar week. And I was the odd person out. So the odd person out is always on the heavy bag. And then the next round we'll like switch and rotate, right? I'm on the heavy bag. And that dude walked in and was like shouting all that shit, talking about how Blake was his friend. And like I never met them before, him or his girlfriend. But his girlfriend, like, just like she knew my name. So like she's like, "Hey, Terrence." I turn around, "Hey guys, what's up?" And she goes, "Oh, he doesn't believe me." She like points to her boyfriend. "He doesn't believe me when I tell him that you're the champ." And then like, I'm a professional fighter, man. I don't have anything to really prove to anybody,
Yeah.
So like, if you don't believe me, then
that's
okay,
on you.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
don't believe me. So that's what I said. I just said, okay, like, I guess I'm not the champion. All right. And then like I turn around and like kind of like laughed it off, and then like kept hitting the bag. Then the dude was like, "Oh, he must think he's somebody then, because he wants to be all sarcastic." And then he like proceeds to go like, "I would beat you the fuck down." And he says it like 3 times, hella loud. And like, my class is right there. So I was like, "What the heck? Oh, like, are you serious?" And then he was like, "Bro, I beat you the fuck down." And I was like, "Well, you can grab some gloves, and then you can go in the ring if you want." Like, and then he's like, "Oh, no, you don't want that. You don't want that." And I was like, "No, seriously, like if you want to get some rounds in, we can." So then Sonny hears all this going on, and then he's like, "Yo, T, just make sure he signs a waiver." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, brother, you gotta sign a waiver." And he's like, "Oh no, fuck that waiver. I don't need that fucking waiver. You need that fucking waiver." And then Sonny like kind of butts in, and he's like, "Hold on, like, I'm the fucking owner of the gym. I say you need a waiver, because if you get hurt, then you're not gonna come and fucking sue us or anything."
yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, okay." Signs a waiver, takes his shirt off, hits like 2 push-ups, and then we hop in the ring. And then, I mean, like, you seen the video, so that happened. But so when the video surfaced, and then like everybody like, dude, that shit went freaking viral. Like, I didn't really think that it was gonna get blown up that big. And the next day, like, we're all in a group chat together. Sonny's like, "Yo, check this shit out." And then like he sends the video of like the dude running up on the Asian guy and pistol whipping him and robbing him. And then he sends the police report with the guy's name and everything. And then I'm like, "What the heck?" So then, my phone's like blowing up all day. And then a couple of people, like one of my old coworkers, my boy Miguel, he hit me up and was like, "Bro, I went to fucking high school with that guy. He used to be like a fucking knock. Like, he used to just take hella pills and just fucking just be, he was just a piece of shit." And then like women were hitting me up and were like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy. He like fucking beats his girlfriends and this and that and whoopty whoop whoop." And I'm like, "What the heck?" Like, I really wish I would have known all this, but like that night, because I wouldn't have been so nice. And like everybody was hitting me up like, "Dude, you should have just beat his ass, blah 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 blah." And like, again, I'm a professional fighter. I have zero to prove to anybody,
Yeah.
you know. So it's like if somebody comes in and they spar and like they're like, oh fuck, you know, like timeout or I'm good, I'm done. I'm not gonna be like, nah, bitch, motherfucker, you know, like I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was like in high school still, I probably would have, you know. But I mean, I would like to think that I've matured a little bit, you know, and like I'm a martial artist, I'm a
Yeah.
professional mixed martial artist, and personally, I think that I handled it like the best way that you know you could have, you know.
I thought you handled it like a complete gentleman. You really could have hurt that guy if you wanted to.
Oh fuck yeah, hell yeah, I could have.
And it
Hell
was it
yeah.
was pretty obvious coming from a guy that has seen a majority of your amateur fights and then you fighting these last two bouts. Like, I know how hard you can hit. I've seen it not in person, but I've seen it happen on the TV. Like, I know how fast you are. You weren't going as fast as you typically would. You didn't hit
Mm-hmm.
him with anything that I've seen you hit other people with.
Right, exactly. But you know, I mean, that guy's a fucking bozo, dude. He's
And so, did he really get bounced from the gym? Did he really, like, after
oh
you
yeah,
whipped
like
his
so
ass?
after after the video was over, like Sonny was like, dude, like
Get the
get the
fuck
fuck out of
out.
my gym. Yeah, like bro, like you don't just come in here and then fucking call out the smallest fucking dude in the gym and then try to fucking, you know, thinking that you're just gonna knock this dude the fuck out. And when you find out that you're not gonna knock him the fuck out, and you want to call timeout, like no, dude. And like I'm sure, okay, let's give that dude some credit. I'm sure he probably has knocked some people out,
I'm
but
sure.
I guarantee you that every single one of the people that he knocked out, he sucker punched them. And it's like, bro, if you fucking sucker punch somebody, you better fucking knock them the fuck out. Cause the
Yeah.
fuck, what the fuck you mean? Like that's a free shot, you know? And you snake them, they weren't fucking ready for it. Like, duh.
It's also one of those things, though, where it's like, I don't remember who exactly was telling me this, but a professional did tell me this not that long ago. And it was saying, there's a really big difference between like street fighting and then like professional fighting or boxing or mixed martial arts. There's a huge difference. And he's like, one of the things that you noticed a lot, particularly with guys that like are just like, neighborhood badasses that like to fight or whatever, that don't have any proper training, is they hold their breath. They hold their breath and they wind up and then they swing for the fences every time. And it usually ends up with both guys rolling around on the ground, and then everyone jumps in and breaks it up. And these fights last less than a minute because nobody's breathing. Like there's no technique. It's just brawn. You know what I mean? And he's just
Yeah.
like, you put a guy
10
like that
seconds
in.
tops. 10
You-
seconds tops.
You put a guy like that in with anyone with any amount of training, they're going to be able to dance around him. Homie's going to get tired after one or two big swings, and that's it. Every
Yep,
time.
that's exactly what happens. Yep, that is exactly what happens. They think they're tough for the first 10 to 30 seconds, if that, and then they're like, fuck, you know, they're
It's
like,
like,
fuck, this is
well,
not gonna go how I planned on
yeah,
it. You
because
know?
a minute went by, and then he was like, how much time is left in the round?
Yeah, exactly. Like, bruh, I know I'm hella little, you know, I know I'm hella little, but man, you shouldn't be doing that to people, you
No,
know.
no, you shouldn't. But I think that you did a very good job in humbling him. Cesar, I wanted to like pivot back to you real quick before we go. Terrence, man, your boy here is 2-0, and he's looking freaking fantastic. Every single time I see him go out there, he just keeps leveling up. And you have been around, Cesar. You've seen him for many years. And I know you're the person that's like not surprised, but you also have like seen him grow. Like, what is your take on what he's been able to accomplish in just these first two professional fights? I've been really impressed. What are your thoughts?
Man, he's amazing. Like everything about him is amazing. Like even the way he thinks, even the way he moves, the way he speaks, everything's like it's funny because even though I'm the older one, I learn more from my teammates and they learn from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, you're doing that very well. All right, what are you doing? And even when we're like when we're like when he's holding pads for me and we're switching back and forth, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? How are you getting up there? How are you
Mhm.
doing this? How are you doing that? I'm like, and then he breaks it down. He's like, oh, well, you have to do this, you have to do that. I'm like, damn, bro. Like he simplifies it to a way that everyone understands it. And that's why he makes all these highlight reels. It's like,
Mm.
wow, his 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 just MMA brain is like levels ahead of mine. And that's why I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, like that's what's up, man.
I think
Fuck
what
yeah, that's what's up, man.
I think if I had to label one thing that makes Terrence a special fighter, it is he's demonstrated time and time again that he can finish fights, that he can knock people out, that he can choke people out. You don't see that often at 125 pounds. And when you do, it's typically early on in the career. And then as you level up, you start seeing less and less of it as the competition gets, more fierce. But with him, I'm not seeing that. I'm still seeing his ability to like knock these guys out every single time, but it's not like he's hunting for it. It's not like he's going out there and he's like intent on knocking somebody out. I'd say Terrence is a very very patient fighter, and he lets the fight kind of unfold and let his opponents make mistakes, whether it be with their footwork, whether it be with their grappling or jujitsu. And that's what's really cool to see, because you see these guys that know that they have that knockout power, that know that they have the ability to just shut somebody's lights out, and they'll hunt for that. And then when they hunt for that, I think that's what gets people in trouble sometimes. You miss, like your boy Lynch, you miss, and then you're wide open, and that's what ended up happening. But I think Terrence is way more disciplined than that. But that's what I would say is like the thing that makes him a really special fighter, is that stopping power at 125 pounds. It's not something you really see all that often.
Oh yeah.
So before we let you go, I was thinking about like, what we could possibly say to like potentially make fun of Blake, but it's not as fun with him not being here. But I need a funny Blake story. Like, surely there's got to be a funny Blake story about whether it's him training, him doing something that was like really, really hilarious. There's got to be one, because he's such a gentleman. So this is an opportunity to.
Bro, I got one that definitely comes to mind. It was it was before he was getting ready for, I forget which fight it was, but it was the last day before he left to go to fight, and he was cutting weight, and I'm sitting there like this, right? And then the scale is right in front of me, like right in front, like on the ground right in front of me. And Blake comes off, he takes his layers off, and I thought he was just gonna weigh in his boxers.
Uh-huh.
And this fucking asshole fucking straight up drops trowel right fucking in front of me. And I'm like, Blake, come on, dude. And I like walk away, and he's like, what? I'm like, Blake, I'm not trying to see your dick right now, bro. Fucking shit.
Wow, like, has that guy like no shame at all?
That's why we call him Nature Boy. That's why I was like, bro, Nature Boy Blake Perry sounds hard. That's tight. Shit.
Man, that yeah. Well, now that makes sense. It makes perfect sense now. Shameless.
Yeah. And then another one, I guess it was more so on both of our parts this time. This is when he fought at that kickboxing thing in Tahoe. We shared a room. It was two beds. Him, he slept on one bed, and then Devo and his son slept on the other bed.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm just gonna sleep on the floor. We like stayed up all night. We were hella drunk, drinking, and then I like slept like right in between the beds. No blanket. I'm freezing my fucking balls off. And Blake gets up in the morning to go take a piss, and he like straight up like stomps on my chest when he gets up, and then he's like, "Oh fuck, my bad, T." And I'm like, "It's okay. Can I have a blanket, please?" And he's like, "Yo, yes, you can have a blanket. I'm sorry, T." He fucking goes to take a piss, and I'm like, "Man, I've been freezing all fucking night, dog."
Oh, that I remember the fight. That was a really gangster fight, and if you guys are listening to this and you don't know which one we're talking about, it was what, 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, a really cool kickboxing fight, and there's a point where in the fight where his opponent talks about getting a low blow, and then like our boy blasts him in the fucking face anyway. But hey, that's not. It wasn't a dirty shot. At least I didn't think so. It's not his. It's not. That's the
Protect
ref's.
yourself at all
That's the
times.
ref's job, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the
Protect
ref's.
yourself at all times.
That is the ref's job. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending some time with your boy. But I wanted to turn it back over to you guys. If there's anything that you want to talk about, if there's any thank yous or plugs that you need to get out of the way, let's go ahead and do that. And I'll go over to you, Cesar. So if there's something that you would like to plug, or if there's something that you would want your people to know about, let's have it.
What's it called? First of all right, I gotta tell you guys my secret, guys. All right, this from Solution Supplements, it's the best product out. All right, make sure you guys go out there and grab it. I haven't been training for like a month due to an injury, and all of a sudden they hit me up with this product, and now I'm taking it before practice, and like my injury is not even there anymore. It's like, oh shit. So fucking amazing product right there. Make sure you guys get some Solution Supplements, and also they always appreciate and everything for my mindset coach, Mindset Evolve, my performance coach, Coach Mike Real Neal, and my coach Sonny, Train for Life, Saver, Jiu-Jitsu, and everyone that's always been there for me. So those are my shout outs.
All right, Metal. What about you, Mr. Saeteurn?
Well, first and foremost, just wanted to thank you again. It's always good to see you, Tyler. You're one of the bros, man. The honorary nobody.
Yeah, damn
So
right.
definitely thank you, Tyler. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you to my teammates, Cesar, Blake, all my coaches, Sonny, Madali, Devo, Coach Bobby. And then since Cesar shouted out Solution Supplements, his newest thing, I want to shout out Solution Supplements. I've been using this. I always use this. This is their CBD cream. With anything like inflammation, like my last fight camp, I fucked up my wrist pretty bad, and this definitely helped bring it back. Solution Supplements CBD, it's full spectrum. So thank you, Solution Supplements. Thank you, Freshly Rooted Tribe. Thank you, Iridium, my management team, Jason and Jeremy. Thank you guys very, very much. I want to shout out my friends and my family for always supporting me, my girl. And yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the year. We're going to stay busy and keep smashing the opposition.
We're going to keep smashing the opposition. Indeed, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. And I'm looking forward to seeing you both compete again in the very near future.